Hey, hey, we are live. Happy Friday, everybody.
Hey, hey, hey. What's happening?
It's going. So how we doing, sir?
We're doing good. A little on the war outside, but other than that, we're good. We're good. We're a
Good, good.
little chipper.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I think I'm in that same boat. A little wore out, but ready to draw some vampire action here this evening.
Yes, I'm excited. We get to do Blade and Hellboy,
Yeah.
two of my faves. I've been really itching to watch some Blade.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's just the time of year or knowing that we were going to be doing this tonight, but the Guillermo Del Toro night on the Friday Night Draw.
Yeah, I haven't watched any Blade in a while. I think the last time I caught Blade Trinity was on TV, and I caught like the last little bit of it.
Yeah,
And but yeah, I haven't seen the first or the second one in quite a while, so need to go back in and do a little refresher on that.
yeah. There was a probably back in the summertime they had a Blade marathon on. I don't know if it was FX or TNT or whatever it was, but and it was on in the background while I was working, so I got to see the whole opening sequence on the dance floor with
Oh yeah,
coming in and killing all the vampires, which was amazing. And then the next time I looked up, Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel were running around killing vampires.
there
So it was an all day thing.
you go. I I don't know. I still dig rewatching them. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever Marvel does with the new version with Mahershala Ali and seeing where that story goes. But the classic ones they're gonna I think they're gonna stick around for nostalgia's sake and watch them every so often.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty timeless.
Yeah,
I mean they're not 30 years old, but still they're uh, they're still pretty old. I mean what are they 10, 12 years old? Well, the first one's probably 15 years old.
yeah. What was that? 98, I think, was the first one.
Okay, yeah, so we're 20 years. Wow,
Yeah,
damn, we're getting old.
yeah, yeah,
Let's not talk about that.
yeah. We'll just skip over that and go into happy fun time and talk about that fun stuff we were reading just before we got on here, and
Yeah, yeah. What
looks
do you
like we're
want?
getting. Oh, okay. So I'm being told we should talk about the calendar, what's coming up next, and then we can talk about the other happy fun time stuff.
There we go.
All right. So looks like next Thursday on Thursday Night Throwdown, we're gonna be drawing some cereal monsters.
Oh, sweet. Pardon the pun.
I think producers A and B are going to have to work on a poll because it says vote. So it means everybody in the peanut gallery, you're going to get to go vote on which cereal monsters we get to draw. Get your choice of, let's see, we got Frankenberry, Boo Berry, Count Chocula, Yummy Mummy.
Yeah.
What's Fruit Brute?
Fruit Brute.
Am I missing any?
Does Captain? Well, I was going to say Captain Caveman didn't have a cereal.
I thought you were going to say Captain Crunch.
No. Well, he's not scary, but yeah, I think that covers them all.
Yeah. Then we can throw the Trix Rabbit in there for giggles.
There you go.
And then let's see. Friday looks like we're doing Universal Monsters, Frankenstein versus the Wolfman.
Awesome. It's right in my wheelhouse.
Oh yeah. You've been cranking out the sketch cards here lately, and I saw a Frankenstein. What was that? A couple days ago.
Yeah. Let me see if I can grab him real quick. He's right here.
Andre's in the house.
What's up, Andre? Booyah, he says. Booyah. There we go.
Nice.
Frankie in the house.
I like it.
Frankie says, relax.
There you go. Frankenstein.
It's pronounced Frankenstein. There you go. That's for Casey.
The brain from the Abby Normal jar.
That's right.
All right, I'm being told we should start sketching. Well, before we start sketching, how about we throw up the rules, regulations, and all that stuff for all these good, fine folks that are here to watch us? All right, so anybody that might be new to the whole sketch-off battle, here we go. Prices per piece. Friday Night's drawings will be sold separately. They're going to start out at $35 for the pencils. That's what we're going to shoot to do in the next 30 minutes here. If you're interested in buying Rodney's piece, head on over to Art of Rodney Fike on Facebook and shoot him a message. If you're interested in my piece, head on over to Sean Forney Illustrations, shoot us a message. So the iron pencil sketches for $35. They're 6 inches by 9 inches. We're going to throw in free U.S. first class USPS shipping if you purchase during the stream tonight. If you're international, message us and we can get you pricing on shipping. Again, in order to qualify, you got to make the purchase by the end of the stream tonight. You can add inks, and that bumps the price up to $55, and you can add inks in color, and that'll bump it up to $75. So just let us know when you shoot a message if you'd like to add these things on. And producers A and B will get you all taken care of. And Andre says, it's Frankenweenie.
There you go.
Alex is in the house. Says, how are we tonight?
How are we doing, Alex?
Doing good, doing good. Getting ready to draw me some Blade here.
There we go.
Rodney's going to be drawing a Hellboy.
Yes.
Gonna count us down there, producer? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, draw.
And go. All right.
Who would actually win? Oh, yeah. That's a really tough call. Yeah, I think the team up would be more appropriate.
Between Hellboy and Blade?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, I could just state the funny answer and say depends on who's writing it.
Right.
But I would have to say Hellboy, simply because he's not of this earth.
Right.
I mean, vampires kind of have a limit, and Hellboy really doesn't.
Right, and that's where I have the struggle. And it's like, yeah, I think Hellboy would end up being the winner because
he's just a straight up badass.
Yeah, and it's like, what is gonna be the thing that can hurt him and whatnot. And I haven't read all the books, and I'm more familiar with the movie version. That sounds like that's right outside the window. There's a dog going absolutely bonkers outside. I don't know if the dog is in our yard, but anyway. So I'm more familiar with the movie version of Hellboy, and it was like it seemed like the only thing that kind of hurt him was something from whatever realm that big Cthulhu-looking beast and the weird what was it, Samael, the weird creature that stuck him with the like egg or embryo or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's just pretty much the only thing that can defeat him is him.
Yeah.
Know? And Alex agrees with me. He says Hellboy's got my vote.
And Enrique's chiming in with the same thing. Says, I got money on Perlman's Hellboy. Hellboy is fireproof, but Wesley Snipes' Blade would beat David Harbour's Hellboy. Okay. I can see that. I actually enjoyed David Harbour's Hellboy movie. It wasn't the greatest, but I still enjoyed it.
I have not seen it yet, and I can't believe I'm saying that because Hellboy is probably like my favorite independent character.
I don't know if it's still there, but when we watched it, it was available on the HBO. I don't know if it's still up there to rent, watch, whatever, do the on-demand thing. It was at least a few months back.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely I want. Well, I don't really pay attention to what critics say and what box office numbers say. If it's something I want to see, I'm going to see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I enjoyed it. It's again, I'm not up on all the stuff in the book, so there could be a lot of stuff missing that is what makes Hellboy to some folks or something like that. I don't know, but I enjoyed the story. It was definitely way more brutal than the Del Toro versions, the Ron Perlman stuff.
Okay.
It's actually quite quite violent and gory.
That's fine with me.
I think it made it a little bit more fun. It was just it was like it was definitely Hellboy kicking some ass.
That's cool. That's cool. I ashamedly haven't. I'm not caught up on my Hellboy either. I've been collecting the BPRD trades.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of want to wait till I have them all to start reading them.
Okay.
There's I think there's a couple that I don't have, and I just kind of stopped chasing them. Kind of, when COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point I'm gonna read them. But I've read a ton of Hellboy, and it's such a solid universe that he created. Such rich characters. I just love them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's see. Jonathan Dunn says Blade's weakness is the IRS.
Yeah, can't argue that.
Nope.
Can't argue that at all.
And then Enrique says, I liked them all. They were all fun. The only thing I don't like was some of the villains. I could see that. I mean, I liked all the movies. I mean, the villains were what they were, especially the two Ron Perlman movies.
Yeah, I actually like I like both the villains in the Del Toro ones.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was they had plans to go and do the third one and never happened and whatnot, and they kind of left it, open ended there at the end of the second one and whatnot. But I mean, it still worked. It still told the story.
Yeah,
and the villains made sense for what they were going with, what they were doing, and I don't know. I enjoyed them. They were entertaining. They were fun.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the first one was you got to see the origin, and it had to do with World War II and Nazis, so I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the villain, I can't remember his name, but the guy that the old guy that ends up killing Professor Broomholm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the guy in the all leather suit.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty wicked villain.
Oh yeah. That guy was really cool. The weird, crazy, the like Rasputin guy.
Yeah,
I still enjoyed him. I do know he was kind of, at least in my mind, he was kind of a little cheesy, but I think he still worked for what the movie was and where they were going for.
Yeah, I kind of think it was campy intentionally.
Yeah,
kind of playing up the whole lore of Rasputin because people still can't decide how much of that was just a crazy nut that had the ear of the family, the royal family, and how much of it was actually intertwined with the uh, uh, paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's always it's good fuel for fodder for conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard one story that, as far as I know, is true about Rasputin, and it's probably not appropriate for the stream. We'll talk about that one off the air. Something Matters told me years ago.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
I'll share with you later, and we can have a chuckle.
Okay. I kind of think I might know what you're referring to.
Probably. It's probably more widely known than I'm aware of. It was just something he told me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Was not aware, but thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Missed a few messages here. Adam says, "Hey everyone, a little late. Hope everyone's doing well. The Perlman ones were just aesthetically pleasing as hell." Enrique says the first set of villains on David Harbour were the only weak characters. I enjoyed the second villains in the David Harbour one. I don't want to spoil the movie.
I'm not worried about that.
Let's see. Enrique also says, wasn't Rasputin poisoned, shot, and then his body was thrown in the river?
Yes. Among other things.
Yeah. And Jonathan Dunn says, does this have to do with a song about him? I don't know. Didn't know there was a song.
If you know what happened to a certain part of now what's his name? The French guy that there's a short French guy that was the conqueror.
Napoleon?
Napoleon, thank you.
The short dead dude?
Yeah, it might have something to do with what happened to a certain part of his body.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yep. That's what Josh told me about, and I was like, all right, we'll run with it.
The jaw in a museum.
It's like, okay, that must be something spectacular.
No, actually it wasn't.
Well, that's a letdown.
That's why they saved it.
18 and a half minutes.
Okay.
I again decided to go for a little bit more than,
Ooh,
just
nice.
Just the headshot.
Yeah. Very cool.
I realize I kind of drew them a little too small here, but oh well, it works. You got the full on Magnolia head shape going and everything there.
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of the way Zach Howard does Hellboy and Sean Galloway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Mignola's the original, and I love him, but and actually Duncan Fegredo. It's funny because Mignola is my least favorite version of Hellboy. But I mean, anything Sean Galloway does.
Oh yeah. He was the one that did the designs for the animated movies, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And
I just love everything he does, and I just love him as a person. He's such a sweet person, such a genuine soul.
Oh yeah.
Zach Howard. I mean, I've been watching some of his stream. Haven't watched him in a while, but some of his streams where he inks, and he's pretty solid dude. Really dig him, love his stuff, and Duncan Fegredo stuff is just nails too.
Well, I'll have to check those out. I'm a little familiar with Duncan's work. Trying to remember what books I've seen him do in the past. I know the name.
I honestly don't know anything outside of his Hellboy work. I know he's done other stuff.
For some reason, coming to mind is I think he did some Transformers stuff, but maybe I'm crazy on that.
That could very well be.
Let's see. Jack's in the house says, "Hey everyone,
how we doing? How we doing?
How goes it, Jack? Thanks for joining us."
I think I've told the story before, but when Duncan was replacing Mignola, when Mignola decided to stop drawing Hellboy, Duncan was the guy who got to be the first one to draw it instead of. And I ran into him in Chicago, Wizard World. I guess this was probably 4 or 5, and he had some of the pages, and he was all worried about not measuring up. And I'm like, dude, do you not see what you've drawn? This is outstanding. And most of it was just penciled. And I was like, man, you ain't got nothing to worry about, dude. This is just dynamite. He's like, are you sure? Really? And he was all worried and stuff. And he's like, well, I guess it's, I mean, he did hire me to do it and all, but he was just like totally second guessing himself. And I'm like, no, dude, you got this. Don't worry about it.
We all go through that and do that. I mean, it's kind of the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Yeah, we're usually our worst enemies.
Oh, yeah. And Jesse just finally sent his bio for Scarlet's Field Guide to Cryptids. And it's all I saw was the first little bit about him being a failed musician. It's perfect.
Oh, Jesse, we still love you.
Yes, we do. And Jack agrees with us, says 100% we are our own worst enemies.
Yeah.
And it's totally true. I mean, you sit there and you look at stuff and it's like, 5 minutes later, it's like, I'm not happy with it. It's garbage.
Well, yeah. And that I've been working on Pitter Patter, and I'm like, I've gone back and I've redrawn all these poses, and it's because I want it to flow, and I want it to be, the fluid and this and that and the other, and this head's off and that head's a little wonky, and I go and I watch all these YouTube tutorials on cartooning, and I'm like, and finally I just get to a point like, dude, stop.
Yep.
You've been drawing for 45 years. You know what you're doing. You know how to fix your mistakes. Just get out of your head and freaking draw.
Yeah, it's so difficult to do that. I mean,
yeah,
like, I saw something the other day that explained it pretty well. They actually were, somebody took the time to make a graph chart type thing, and it was like, it's like you're in the gap. It's like you don't feel like you're progressing, getting any better, or, you don't feel like you're up to snuff because your taste in artwork, you like, different types of artwork that you deem as, good or whatever. And, you're comparing yourself to this person, that person, whatever, because, as you improve, your tastes improve basically. Right. And so that, they made the chart where, like, basically you're in what they were calling the gap, because you've improved, the artwork you like has improved, so now you think you haven't improved, and it just, it definitely hit home. It's like, yeah, it's totally the case. I totally get that.
No doubt.
And yeah, it's like you gotta step away from the whole, comparing your work to others and, all this stuff that is incredibly hard not to do at times.
Yeah, because I, when you get on Instagram to make your post every day, you find 15 minutes have gone by and you've stared at everybody's artwork and you're like, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Go away messages. Warner says, I have absolutely no problem with going out of my mind. Going or already there? No, it's totally the case. I mean, you can sit there and just beat yourself up constantly, like you said. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? I'm not as good as this, or not, not doing that, or whatever. Any number of crap that we can, dream up in our heads.
Yeah,
it's tricky. Jack says it's so hard not to compare. I do it all the time. It really brings your confidence down, and it's totally true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that my best days in the studio are when I am disciplined enough to just hop on social media to do what I need to do and get off. If I jump down rabbit holes, I don't have as good of a day. If I just and make my posts and get out and get back to work, I usually have a really productive day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tricky because you stumble upon one thing and it's like, oh man, why didn't I think to do that?
Yeah.
Or in the case I had was yesterday, I actually had the reverse experience of that, which isn't always the case. But I know we haven't done it for a while because we've been trying to talk other things while we've been doing all this stuff. But it's like, we were talking about the whole flubs and our inspiration that we've been hitting.
Yeah,
we do this stuff, and it's like yesterday, and I talked to you about it before we went on stream. I was like, I came up with a new idea what I wanted to do with the Mothman piece for our cryptid book because, I just by happenstance ended up stumbling upon this this piece that it just was kind of inspirational, and I was like, oh, why didn't I go about doing this kind of pose and this kind of layout and whatnot. So I sat there and I actually reworked my sketch yesterday. I just did a little scribble in my sketchbook, and it was like, this is so much better, and this kind of tells the story and the image way better than what I was trying to do. Because I was definitely doing one of those, I was trying too hard because it was like, oh, I kind of want to do something Bernie Wrightson inspired, and so then I'm sitting there trying to think, how would Bernie Wrightson do this kind of thing? And that's not the way my brain works most of the time. So it's not exactly wasn't coming out the best. But coincidentally, the thing that made me realize, hey, dummy, maybe you should rethink this, redo it, whatever, because I just was not happy with it. I'd already redrawn it 3 times. Was a different Bernie Wrightson piece.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that. I spent a long period of time trying to rework a panel that I just wasn't happy with. It didn't for as big of a moment in the book as it is, it didn't grab enough. And I spent an hour on the YouTubes trying to figure it out, and I figured it out, but it's just like, okay. Sometimes you're in such a rush to get stuff done that you're not giving yourself time to think it through. You're just trying to be productive.
Yep.
And when you have the luxury of stopping and thinking about it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this is how we can make this better.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. Okay, I can do this.
Yeah, it's a thing of, like you said, it's like taking the time to think it through properly, and sometimes you just got to do that little reset, and No, that's totally what I did yesterday. And then like Steph looked at it today and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's way better."
Yeah.
Okay, we're going with this one. So you're getting the way better piece to ink eventually.
There you go. I'm all about that.
All right, so let's see. We got Veronica Beckham says, "Great work. I'm watching from Ocala, Florida. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in."
Yeah, no doubt. Florida's in his house.
Nice. Steph says, "This is the same problem my high school art kiddos have. They're overloaded with images on their phones and can't create anything original or can't create period because they get overwhelmed by comparing themselves to others."
Yep.
Jack says, "Happy accidents or doing things the wrong way can be great for inspiration." Totally.
Absolutely.
And then Jack also said, "Also stepping away," which I know we've brought up a number of times.
Yeah.
And then Ed Williams says, "Hello, everyone.
Hello, Ed Williams.
Thanks for tuning in, Ed."
How you doing, Ed?
That's because this is 70s Blade.
What'd she say?
She said he's got quite the afro going on. I said this is 70s Blade.
See, she's got her references because that's not an afro. That's a box top.
I didn't call it an afro.
That's totally 90s.
Sean Forney called it an afro. I said his hair.
Oh, she said hair. I said afro. All right. So yes, you are correct.
I keep hearing Humpty Dumpty.
We got like 5 minutes.
Dum, 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 dum.
I don't know. I just wanted to do his kind of crazy haircut there, and
hey, I ain't mad at you. It looks good.
it's a little bit Wesley Snipes meets the comic version.
That's cool. Wesley Snipes meets the Commodores.
There we go. That works. Let's see. Warner said Kid and Play. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Kid and Play.
And then Jack says you could have given him the Kid and Play box top. Well, in Kid's case, rectangle top. Oh, Jesse Noble is in trouble.
Uh-oh. What has he done?
Steph is leaving his bio the way he wrote it. And like I said, the only part that I saw pop up on my screen really quick was failed musician. So this ought to be really good. Enrique says that mustache does not look like it belongs on a character that would star on an R-rated movie.
Maybe NC-17
An I don't know. I don't think NC-17 movie is strong enough. Maybe a single X.
Is he trying to say that your Blade has a porn star mustache?
I think so.
There's a song in there somewhere.
Does it have a lot of wah-wah pedal?
It might indeed.
3 minutes. We only got a couple minutes left. I will shout out and say these are still available as far as I know. I haven't heard the producers yell out and say anything sold. So
You know?
Rodney and I to pick these up. And I'm just going to try to beat Warner to the punch and say Killer for Us is still available.
That's right.
And Movember is coming.
Get her while she's hot.
Okay, and a new thing that the producers are pimping out is a comment and say which one you like better. Which one would you rather have? Which one should go to its forever home in your house, on your wall, in a portfolio? I need some stuff that rhymes so we can make this sound like Dr. Seuss. But there we go. And there it is. And of course, Killer Frost is still available. And all of Josh's drawings for the month of November will have mustaches. For reference, go to check out his newest White Queen King drawing. Go to the Art of Jalen Warner on Facebook. One minute.
You'll have to explain that one to me again.
So he did a sketch of Emma Frost, the White Queen,
right?
Based on I just remember his last name. His last name is King. He was the model for Dave Palumbo for doing the new Marvel Masterpiece trading card set.
Okay.
So he had commented on one of Josh's sketches or commented on podcast or something of this nature. I can't remember what happened, but Josh decided to take one of this guy's photographs and turn it into an Emma Frost White Queen sketch. And so it was Pat King, I believe was the name. You guys can Pat Frost is the best sketch ever. And we're done. Pencils down. Sorry, ladies, internet isn't cooperating again. Sketches look solid. Oh, he said lads. I thought he said ladies. It's like, what'd we do? Sketches look solid as usual. Catch you next time. Pat Frost, whatever, for the White Queen sketch card there. And so yes, it's a bearded Emma Frost.
Very nice.
I gotta straighten the camera because that's straight on camera, but it's not on the desk. I totally whacked myself in the head with the camera earlier.
Oh, that's not good. Doink.
Yeah, no, I was trying to ink. I'll have to grab the piece before we start working on other stuff. But I was trying to maneuver crap on the desk, and I was making a mask to cover it, and I totally ran right into the thing.
Way to go, kid.
Adam says, "Wow, these both look awesome." Thank you, Adam.
Appreciate it.
They, like I said, they're still available. They start out at $35. You can message our respective Facebook pages and let us know if you'd like to make a purchase. The comment is up there with leave a comment on which one you love. Warner says Rod for the win. So there you go, Rodney.
Oh, there we go.
You got 1 vote you, 0 votes me. So you are in the lead, sir.
All right. Come on, lean into it.
I dig it.
Cool. I think they both look good.
Awesome. So there they are, folks. Let us know what you like. Leave some comments. We'd love to see your feedback. Love to get some interaction from everybody going in the group. All right. I suppose I should probably break out the next thing I got to work on.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And I'll also break out the piece that made me knock myself out. And I lost my paper. Oh, there's my paper drawn. Gonna be drawing a Captain Cold here in a minute.
Captain Cold. I remember I was at a convention.
What's that?
I remember I was at a convention. I think it was Motor City Con, maybe 10 years ago. And Scott Collins. You remember Scott Collins?
I know the name. I'm trying to connect the dots.
For a while, and went over to did some stuff for DC.
Okay.
He was doing a Captain Cold commission, and he's one of those guys that was kind of okay when he first debuted, and then all of a sudden he turned a corner and his stuff was like, Jesus, what did you just snort? And he just like went leaps and bounds. And I was sitting there watching him draw this Captain Gun. Super, super nice guy. And I probably stood there and had a 10-minute conversation with him, and was like, "Wow, dude, this is just badass." And he was talking about how he's just really, really kind of dedicated himself to his craft and really concentrating on not trying to be somebody else and just being himself. And I was like, yeah, well, that's the key, man. Just do you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was awesome.
Those are the best conversations, man.
Yeah.
To get to chat with somebody and just have an actual conversation about what you like doing, and it's not the kind of ego-driven thing.
Yeah, and honestly, that's really what sparked the Flub of the Week thing that we were doing before. Is just you realize when you have these conversations with these other creatives that you are one of them.
Oh yeah.
You all have the same shortcomings and the same doubt, and but it's just the ones that stick with it, that have the mental fortitude to stick with it, that eventually rise above it all and become freaking superstars.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you took a look up at the screen, but this is the piece that caused me to whack myself in the head with the camera earlier.
Very nice.
Thank you. So we were talking last night on the other piece. I was doing the ink splatter, so I was doing it again on this piece, and I was trying to mask off all this junk, and wasn't paying attention. I just leaned forward too far to like maneuver the tracing paper, and wham, right into the camera.
Oh. Yeah, I did that the other day. Like I knocked myself pretty good on my bean bone. It's like, oh, crap.
So Warner says, yes, conversations about style.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Warner tries to tell everybody he has no style.
Oh, yes, you do.
We had a nice lengthy conversation about it at San Diego Comic-Con, and I think I finally gave up at about 3 a.m.
Well, the funny thing about Josh's style, and I've known Josh not as personally as I've known you. I've known you about 10, 11 years. And I knew who Josh was, but really didn't become chatty with him and friends with him until much later. But I remember one time somebody was doing a My Little Ponies jam piece, and I think it was Detroit, and I got the piece to do mine, and I looked and I saw this badass pony on there, and I'm like, man, who the hell did this? And it was Josh, and I was like, damn. But in the last few years, especially since the Rona's hit, Josh is just really, his stuff is really coming to its own. And Josh, you probably don't see it because it's you and you don't notice it in your own work, but I'm here to tell you that, the last 4 or 5 months, you've grown leaps and bounds, especially painting. So keep it up, dude. Looking awesome.
There you go. Steph says ditto, and I'm going to say ditto, and also told you.
Yeah, if you're doubting yourself, dude, you're doing it right, because it's definitely showing.
Yeah, he says he trolled me on the live stream about style, but not really. I mean, that's the thing that I think all of us, like to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's probably got their own unique outlook on what style is, how style works, but I still go back to what Joe Quezada said, and most recently I was listening to the Cup of Joe podcast with McFarlane. It was Quezada was interviewing McFarlane, and they were talking about style, and they both agreed and said kind of the same thing. It's like everybody has style. If we didn't have style, we'd all be photorealists.
Exactly.
And but style is basically just the way you interpret the world around you, essentially.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because it's kind of a click moment for me when you said that, because a couple of years ago, I was doing the print wall and this and that and the other, and I excel at the photorealism stuff. And we had this big huge print wall behind us, and everybody loved it. And I kind of, okay, I dig it. It's to a point. Then I got to a point where I was sick of doing that, because I felt that I wasn't developing my personal style, because I was doing the photorealistic stuff, and that can be a style, but I just got to a point where I just kind of felt like it was mimicry,
Mm-hmm.
and taking stuff out of my head. I just was having a yearning to do that more,
Oh yeah.
opposed to replicating photos for pinups, for the print wall.
Right.
So yeah, I'm all about developing the style, and I see it, especially now between issues 1 and issues 2 of Pitter Patter. The I can see it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm yearning for. That's what I want.
Yeah. I mean, like that's always been my thing. Like even with with doing the photorealism stuff, like that was something that I think took me a little bit to wrap my head around back in college. Was like, because I love doing stuff in a photorealistic style, like what am I trying to say? Like if you look at somebody like Boris Vallejo, Julie Bell, they do a very photorealistic style, but
Timothy Bradstreet.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing stuff that's all photoreal, like Bradstreet. At least the work I'm familiar with him, it's very photoreal, but it's still stylized. It's still the heavy blacks,
Yeah.
Um, the very kind of spattered color. What am I trying to say? Is like, they've these guys have all kind of developed their own style within doing that photorealism. And it's like, yeah, it can look like a photograph. It can look realistic or hyper real. If you look at some of like the fantasy painters, like I mentioned, like Julie Bell, it's very hyper realistic. You could swear you're looking at a photo of somebody, but it's still stylized in the use of color, the use of design, the posing, all that kind of stuff.
Right. The shading, the lighting, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I just got to a point where I was like, okay, I can do that, and I've got a whole wall behind me to show that I can do that. Now, what else?
Right.
I want to do something else.
Yeah, and it's you kind of get like stuck in that rut.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, that was the thing in college. Like I was trying to like piece together, wrap my head around, because I was looking at like I took a bunch of painting classes. I wanted to learn how to paint like like the guys I already mentioned, and I wanted to paint like Alex Ross and all this kind of stuff. And to some extent learned how to do that, but it was like it's basically like you were saying. It's like I'm just copying a photo. This is kind of boring.
Yeah.
How do I put my own spin on this stuff? And
Yeah.
I'd already been doing the comic book stuff for a long time at that point, but it was like, okay, at that point I knew what style was, where it came from. That's how I knew which artist I was following. Which artist do I like because of that particular style. And that's then kind of came the time of like, okay, how do I develop my own style so I don't just look like a clone of all these people that I'm trying to learn from.
Yeah. And I think that's where I just got to a point where, when it was funner for me to draw in my sketchbook than it was to sit and spend 16 hours producing a pinup, I knew my days of doing prints were numbered.
Right.
Yeah.
Dirty hours.
Yeah, an Aquaman. Yeah, to spend all that time doing that Aquaman piece and then getting it to the show and only selling one copy of it,
Oh,
and then having some and I will curb my language, some person walk up to me and look at the original piece and ask me if I take $150 for it. I almost,
ouch.
yeah, I had a
300.
$300 price tag on it, and it should have been easily $1,200. I wanted to leap over the table and just knock his teeth down his throat because he was very condescending with the question, and I that was kind of it for me for Prince.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, it became work.
Yep.
Produce prints, and I was pretty much done.
Yeah.
Through this, I want to do my own stuff. I want to suffer through developing my own style more. I mean, I've got a style, but I wanted to develop it more, and I was just done with prints.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know. The stuff can.
The comic the people that come and join us, they're comic book fans, they're art fans, so they know and they appreciate. But it's the Joey Bag of Donuts and the mom and dad with the kids at the conventions. It's like, okay, I got to squirrel myself.
I see. Warner said, "See, that's what I'm talking about. Can I join again? Dave Palumbo is Julie Bell's son." Let's see. So, can I join again? Like Josh, you saying you want to join the stream? Oh, Steph sent you a link. Okay. So Josh might join us. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But hopefully all of our stuff that we rambled on about there makes sense for everybody. All right. And Mark is back and says, I've been attempting to draw with both of you this evening. It's been a struggle trying to draw a person. My proportions are all over the place. You're both true professionals.
Well, Mark, thank you. But my advice to you would to be just draw. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Do your thing.
Just draw, dude. Don't worry about whether proportions are screwed up or not. Just kind of start doing gesture drawings and stuff like that. Just get the feeling and stuff. Just loosen up, and then at some point, concentrate on the proportions and stuff like that. But yeah, what'd you say?
Oh, Steph was saying something. So I know I've mentioned it before, but Mark's friend of ours, his wife and Steph work together. His wife's another art teacher at the school.
Okay.
And Steph's like, Mark is artistic. He's got some art background, but she said that Mark's got a graphic design degree, and I'm like, Mark's degree is not graphic design. It's graphic something. I don't remember the full title of it, but I know it's quite a bit different than at least my understanding is quite a bit different than straight up graphic design.
Okay.
But yeah, Mark and I were actually texting a little bit back and forth before we went live tonight, and I was kind of saying the same thing. It's like, just sit there and doodle in the sketchbook until you kind of get an idea, because he was kind of stuck on. He's like, I don't know what to draw.
Yeah.
And that Steph just brought up a good point. He should draw Luke, his son.
Yeah, you're Mark.
Here, Mark. Yeah. This is, see there? Yeah, that's there you go.
And that's only a couple weeks ago.
That's only about 6 weeks ago. So yeah.
Inspiration.
There you go. Improvement can be achieved.
And Ed, I don't know if Ed's still watching us, but Ed usually throws in the hashtag inspiration, because I know he gets some inspiration out of watching us and listening to us babble on and whatnot. But I will just go the one step further and go the full Cobra Kai and be like, hash brown inspiration.
There you go.
I'm gonna completely wear that one out because oh my god, I love that.
I apparently haven't gotten that far yet.
No, it's pretty late.
Yeah, did you make it through season 1 already?
I did, yeah.
I think it was in season 1. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm okay. I might have missed it.
Yeah, Steph is saying no. Maybe it is in season 2. So it's when Johnny starts trying to do some social media and he learns about the internet, and yeah, maybe it is in season 2. It's hilarious.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it is season 2. It's funny. And hey, there's Jalen Warner.
What
Hey,
up?
What's going on, brother?
I don't know. Guys are talking about me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
style.
you brought up style. We had to throw you under the bus.
Steph said that you guys were only on for a certain amount of time, so I figured let's talk about style, and then we can be on longer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, we're just gonna leave you hanging. We'll let you just keep going. We'll just go get some sleep.
Yeah, you can talk about style all you want.
I think I'm a little light on the volume here. Okay. I was working on this, and I figured I'll just start laying down
Nice.
the
Very cool.
underdrawing here. So,
Digging it.
Sweet rabbit.
yes. I like the triangle faced monkey.
Yeah.
Which is actually it's funny when you just that line from the movie. It's very helpful in drawing them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like just make it a triangle.
Yeah, Trash Panda just doesn't cut it when you're trying to draw him.
No.
It's like your whole draw an owl.
Again, is it Trash Panda or Trash Bandit?
Trash Panda. And Enrique just chimed in with, "Hey, look, a trash panda."
Trash. See, and that's the thing. I always heard it as Bandit just because of the mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does make sense. Maybe people do say that. I don't know.
But
I don't know. The internet popularized Trash Panda for sure.
yeah, no, I mean it was. I showed this to Kat, and she was like, "Because what were we talking about? We were talking about
Style.
no, we were talking about drawing cute things or whatever." And I said, "Speaking of cute things," and I showed her this, and then she goes, "It looks like you don't want to eat my face off." And I was like, "Well, he's kind of a douchebag, so I guess yeah." He's not the nicest character in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but underneath all that gruff exterior, he's got a heart.
He does, and it's and it tastes delicious.
It's a very earthy aftertaste.
Yeah, it's a little gamey, but
A little chewy. Tastes nothing like porg.
no chicken. The other white meat. Yeah. So to clear up on the White Queen, the Pat King White Queen.
Yeah.
So it was he was on the Marvel Card Collectors podcast like a week ago, right?
Okay.
And they were interviewing him, and he had modeled for like a bunch of characters like Kraven and Deadpool and all and Punisher and a bunch of different characters that Palumbo did, right? And they had like in one of the Deadpool cards, Palumbo Dave actually posed as Deadpool in it, but like it's Deadpool sitting there in like a smoking jacket in a chair, and over his shoulder is this painting of Deadpool in that pose. And that was that was Pat's, Pat's pose. Pat modeled for that, for the painting inside the painting, so to speak. So and the joke was that he said that he would have posed for every single character in that card set. And I think Ian Taylor had made a comment like, oh, so you didn't pose as Emma Frost. And I was like, oh wait, okay, I'm, what, sign me up, I'm on this. And in their like show notes, they post like pictures and stuff. They had a picture, the picture that Pat had posed for in that one card, which was like very, very sexy kind of a pose. And I was like, dude, that's your Emma Frost pose right there, right? Now I do a live stream like on Wednesdays where I'll do a sketch card, and it's basically for the Marvel card collectors community, so, on their group. And what I've been doing was a bunch of band characters, right?
Yeah.
So that you can't draw. So like I did Galactus, Ego, I did Doctor Doom, all these characters that you're not allowed to do for the for the sets, for whatever legal reasons. And so I've been doing those. Well, I put a halt on that because I was like, you know what, I gotta do this sketch, and I gotta do it as a live draw. So I did it, and one of the guys, I think it was Andre, actually, I think Dre ended up tagging him, in the comments, and Pat, the model, came on and started watching the video. And so it was like, okay, cool. I was like, well, and Dre was busy with, his, regular day job, so he couldn't jump on. So I was like, hey, Pat, you want to come on? So he actually came into the live stream, and the moment he came in, he says, you know what? Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I'd be watching this happen. And, and he goes, and he basically said, 2020 has sucked, overall. But he goes, for me, I'm okay. Because he's part of the Marvel Masterpieces 2020 set that came out. He was like, I never thought that this joke would actually get legs, kind of a thing. And of course, my reply was, well, you can always count on me to, basically take a joke too far or beat a dead horse. So
Steph says all of the above.
yeah, exactly. So I chatted with him for a bit, and then on the stream, which was pretty cool. Never met the fella. Just and then he turned around and said, he goes, dude, I have got to get this sketch. So he had to bail. I'm sure he had something going on or whatever, but he had to bail. And all the guys, because what I do at the end of my live streams is I'll basically raffle off the sketch, right? It's like, just give it away. And it's, just got to pay for shipping, kind of a thing, right? And so like all the people that were like watching the video like voted and basically said, yeah, dude, you got to give it to Pat. Everybody wanted it, but they were like, yeah, give it to him. So, shot him a note and said, hey man, everybody voted, they want you to have it, and just PayPal me the shipping and good to go. So shipped it out the next day. He's super stoked.
You
Now-
drew the guy, but you made him pay for shipping.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
dude. This is I mean, it's a free sketch, bro. I mean, I gotta pay for gas to get to the post office.
I see Andy's in the house. Says, "Sup, guys?
What's up,
How you
man?
doing, Andy?
How goes it, Andy?"
Andy says, "Hi, Tina."
Producers A and B are checking all the stuff and keeping us on our toes here.
Yeah, let me.
It's almost 10 after 9. was the reply from producer B.
Nice.
That's what's up.
And we will.
Well, I want to thank you guys for inviting me in. I literally was just kind of sitting here watching you and listening while I was working on. But
Cash, gas, or ass. Nobody rides for free.
All right.
I was working on the painting for the cryptids book, and got the invite. So it's like, I'll come hang with you guys for like a half an hour.
That's cool.
Yeah. Glad you could come join us. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I was,
Um,
I know you don't. I mean, poor form to talk about stuff that happened off air, but yeah, it's been a while since we actually got to chat.
Oh yeah.
Schedules are out of control. So.
Yeah, it's definitely been nutty lately. And part of that cause for nuttiness is so tell us a little bit more about that drawing you were doing before you joined us, Josh.
This is what is this? The Mills Lake monster. I don't know much about him other than he's kind of like a swamp monster type cryptid dude. Apparently, I get stuck with all the swamp monsters for I don't know. Maybe it's because I like to draw Man Thing and Swamp Thing, but yeah. So this is for your new cryptids book that's coming out. Got a handful of pieces that are hopefully make the cut.
Oh, they're making the cut. Yeah, most of them are already in the layout for the book.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it, man.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I got I did the what is it? The Beast of Dartmoor, and then
Dartmoor, yeah.
And then the Honey Island swamp creature or monster dude. And I was like, because I've been painting these, so I was like, oh, dude, this is actually kind of cool. So I actually last night after I finished off the Honey Island swamp monster, I started on this thing. Figured, dude, it's kind of fun painting fur.
Oh yeah.
So, started on this, and then of course, going back to haven't talked in a while, so and talking about stuff off air, I called you today and said, yeah, dude, I can't do the giant turtle because I don't think anybody's ever. You can't do it without thinking of Jays.
Oh yeah.
And because that was just such an epic piece.
Yeah, that
it's
was
like you can't. It's not even about topping it. You can't draw that without being somewhat I don't want to say inspired, but like you can't not draw it the same way Jay did.
Right.
Yeah, the influence is definitely strong.
Yeah, I mean it was just the perfect version. And I've looked at it and admired it so much. It's like, you know what? I'm corrupted.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't do that. So I asked Sean. I was like, dude, you got to give me something other than this giant turtle thing, because I just can't do it. Not without straight up copying Jay.
Yeah, I mean it's hard replacing, uh, a legend. You don't want to be the guy replacing Howard Stern on terrestrial radio.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to follow that act.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So, got a couple more ideas or suggestions, I should say. So that'll be fun, especially the ones that nobody else wanted to do. So I'm pretty stoked about that, just because nobody else wanted to do them, because they're nothing like anything that anybody wants to do. So it's like, yeah, give it to me. I'll do it.
Sign me up.
Yeah, it's just, you know what? It's the, doing stuff that, not necessarily stuff that you're comfortable with, I have a great time with.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for that too. I mean, it's you've got that tackle it tenacity. That's
like
admirable.
Like this piece as an example. It's like, dude, never in a million years, a year ago, would I have thought, oh yeah, no, do a character covered in fur.
You draw a book with,
when I say that,
all the characters covered in fur.
Cartoony, like in my books, but you know what I mean? Something a little more realistic.
Not in the Jalen Warner style.
Right. Yeah, something completely out of my comfort zone, if you will.
Yeah, I mean that's what I usually find exciting about some of the stuff. And when we talked about it earlier, when I was giving you the different cryptids and whatnot, the ones that were left on the list that nobody really wanted to take. Rodney was the only person that like chimed in there when we was like, well, this is what we got left, and Rodney did us a giant spider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, I had a blast doing it.
And it turned out killer. I mean, like, you threw the little hint of the web in there, the head for scale.
Yeah, he's like that.
and it's like, yeah, nobody else really wanted to tackle it, so that meant it was left to me to like come up with stuff. And I was sitting there like racking my brain, going, I gotta draw a giant freaking spider. What the hell do I do to draw it? To get some scale going here. So it's like climbing over trees in a forest. It's like,
what I actually think of, like those old like 50s and 60s like monster movies and stuff, and it's like, dude, just have them like in a full on like old school Godzilla kind of a vibe, it was just walking through a cityscape.
Yeah, they're just not supposed to be that big though.
Right. I mean, the only reason I didn't go more crazy with it was, one, I went uber crazy with the Skinwalker, and two, it's supposed to be her sketch in her field journal. So my thought process was, if I'm seeing a spider that's big enough to hold a human head in its hand, I'm not sticking around long enough to do anything more than a quick sketch. So, I'm kind of keeping that in mind. And so that's kind of why I did it the way I did it. Because, there was the thought of, okay, well, I'll put trees in there, or I'll put maybe a car or something. But I was like, yeah, that's field guide, wilderness, or something to give it scale. And I was like, ooh, let's put a head in its hand.
Yeah, and you know what? That was kind of my approach on the first cryptids book, was the whole here's a sketch that maybe she did, while encountering the thing.
Yeah.
like with this approach on the new book, I'm almost looking at it from a standpoint of maybe this is something that was the sketch was put together not like after or during an encounter, but maybe it's like, okay, she's heard stories about it, and this is a sketch of the interpretation
Yeah.
of the story that she heard, right? So it's a little more refined as a sketch, so to speak.
Okay.
So it's almost like, okay, I haven't come across this thing yet, but because of all these eyewitness accounts, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you guys, you kind of hit on all parts of what's going to be in the book, because some of it will be here's what she sketched, in the field, live on the spot. Here's my little plein air sketch of this monster, that monster, what have you. But then a lot of it is also going to be because there's some fun surprises that are going to get worked into the stories, and I'm definitely not spoiling any of those. But there's going to be the eyewitness account stuff, which is going to be Jim from down on the lake, he saw this creature, blah blah blah, and this is the drawing he did. Or some of the stuff might be the postcards. Like if you were to go around, like, say, any one of these places, like I'll use the Loveland Frogman, for example. You're going to walk into the little corner store, and you're going to be able to buy Loveland Frogman t-shirts, postcards, yada yada yada. And stuff is going to be like that. It's going to be like, hey, here's the postcard from Loveland, or all these just fun, crazy things that that you see in any of these places where they're known for having some sort of cryptid, or like Roswell and UFOs. You walk in any place there, you're gonna pick up all sorts of crap covered in all different interpretations of what everybody thinks an alien looks like.
The only thing that I ask, because it just occurred to me, is that you please take one of mine and make it really fuzzy in like Photoshop, so it looks like that Bigfoot picture.
We actually have some real photos like that in the book.
Okay, yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like, take some of take one of my drawings and do that, because that would be so epic.
Yeah,
you put all that effort into the drawing and you can't even see it in the book. That'd be great.
We actually have some real life photos of a supposed real life cryptid that are those total blurry photos.
Yeah.
And they are original to us.
And they are original to us. It is, let's call it, it's Steph's family heirloom. And then they are going to be in the book. They were in the first book, so Josh might know what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that's picking up the new book for the first time. It's in there. We've got some legit, real life cryptid photos that we've got. And so we're having some fun, because they are totally, and this came from somebody that knows how to use a camera, but it never fails when you see one of these dang things. The picture is all out of focus. You can't tell what it is, and it fits the bill perfectly.
Sweet.
I'm looking for the darn. Oh wait, is this it? No. Looking for. Oh, here we go.
If I'm not mistaken, it's on the last page, but don't show it, Josh.
I won't. But
okay.
I'm looking. Oh yeah. That's in the backyard.
Yep.
Yeah. And I've updated the story a little bit.
And Steph has updated the story from what it was the first go around.
So it's not unknown.
Well, she's updated all the stories, but we're talking about that one specifically, and that one has gotten an overhaul.
Okay.
This damn giant turtle, man. Holy smokes. All right, I'm putting that away.
You got 10 minutes.
All right, we got 10 minutes, I'm being told. And Andy's asking if it's the Beast of Busco, whatever the pronunciation is, or a different giant turtle. Yeah, kind of in a what's the word I'm going for? In a loose sense, yes, it is the Beast of Busco. We kind of geared it.
What the story is in the book, yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay, it is.
Changing the story to match.
Okay, Steph is changing up the story to match the Beast of Busco folklore, because initially when we did the first book, it was not. We kind of geared everything into being in Ohio, and the Beast of Busco is actually from Indiana, I believe. So we are kind of changing it up a little bit from what we had the first go around. And then Enrique says, personally, I'm excited. This sounds like an amazing look at the roadside and American folklore. Totally. And
Exactly.
yeah, that was the thing from the get-go. And I think I've said it on here before, and I'm probably rambling and repeating all the same crap. But, like when this whole idea came about, it was literally me and Metters sitting on, the couch in his living room trying to come up with an idea on the first go-around to, like, okay, I need to come up with a book because we're going back to Comic-Con. I've got no way I can produce a full comic book by the time we get there. What can we do? And it was just like a spur of the moment, came up with the idea, and then bam, put it together. And it was totally inspired by all the things that we were all kind of into with, like the cryptids, the creatures, and just pulling from all that, just kind of, I don't know, the folklore, the legend, and all that kind of stuff that at least I find very entertaining and intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. It entertains the imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also based in a sort of reality.
Yeah.
The urban
For
legend,
sure.
the urban legend thing, and actually, where was now that I'm thinking about it, the whole Slender Man thing, where was that at? Does anybody know?
I'm going to take a shot in the dark, pardon the pun, and say West Virginia
Slender Man.
or New York State.
Slender Man?
Yeah.
I thought that was like Wisconsin.
I mean, it was a horrible, horrible story, but
Yeah. I kind of want to say that was dreamt up by some kids on the internet, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah. No, but I mean, what actually happened, like later, in real life.
yeah, I can't remember where they happened, but I'm kind of agree with me.
But I was just wondering, geographically speaking.
Yeah. Producer B says Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was basically kids were like goofing around on the internet, came up with this thing, and basically
I put it up on the comments.
Yeah, no, I actually.
It's Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, because I watched a documentary on it.
Well, yeah, they've done a few like documentaries and stuff, and then it got turned into a movie of some sort, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. I never tuned into anything like that. I just watched the documentary because it was like.
Yeah, Doug Jones played Slender Man.
Oh wow.
Doug Jones for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I don't know. That's. Well, I mean.
Well, I mean,
you gotta eat, but.
If you look at someone like these other stories, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that like a lot of these, a lot of the cryptids and stuff kind of generated out of is,
Oh, yeah.
trying to explain, weird instances of stuff happening. Like the chupacabra, people start ending up with a bunch of animals on their farms, blood sucked out of them. Okay, what's happening? Where's it coming from? Boom.
Well, I mean, this goes back to like, you think about sea monsters and stuff.
Oh yeah.
With the sailors of old,
Yeah.
talking about like mermaids and
Well, it's like Giorgio Succaros's Ancient Aliens metaphor. It's misinterpreted technology.
Mm-hmm.
But it's misinterpreted life forms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But but I mean, some of the stuff like the Kraken. Was that a Kraken or was that a giant squid?
Right.
No.
Well, and somebody brought up this morning because I was drawing a gremlin in my morning stream, and it was like, Roald Dahl did that Gremlins thing with Disney, and that kind of popularized it. But it all stemmed from, I believe it was pilots.
Oh yeah.
In was it World War I or World War II?
World War II.
They were blaming any kind of malfunction on any of their equipment on gremlins. Now, whether or not that was like a superstition that came from somebody's background from being from a particular area, or if it was where they were stationed or whatever.
Well, that might have a genesis in the whole Foo Fighters terminology, which is what that was the word that they used for UFOs back then. The World War II fighter pilots called them Foo Fighters.
Right.
So that could be, they considered whatever, little gremlins came from the Foo Fighters.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they didn't know what the hell they were.
Right.
Okay, well, so we've got these Foo Fighters in the sky. It must be the gremlins from the Foo Fighters messing with our planes.
Right. And then that brought forth the whole legend, the whatever, and then we get the Gremlins movie, like 20 some odd years later or whatever, 30 years later.
There was a great meme that I saw. It was just a picture of was it a Gizmo, like in a sink, right? With the faucet over his head, and it's like, well, heading into fall, let's get this going.
Right.
2020.
All right, I'm getting the kind of last call notification here.
Yep.
Yeah,
I assumed it was coming pretty soon here.
I think I'm officially done with the Mummy.
Oh, that turned out nice.
Thank you. Just gotta sign it.
That might be on tap for watching at some point this weekend. I watched the Brendan Fraser version earlier while I was working.
Not the Tom Cruise version.
And that one was last week. I still stand by, if they would have cast somebody else in that role, that movie would have been a lot better.
Perfect casting for Hyde.
Oh yeah. I like it. If you would have just replaced Tom Cruise's character with like any other actor, I think it could have worked. But I just kept staring at it, going, "It's old Tom Cruise trying to run around and be young Tom Cruise. This doesn't work for me."
Yeah, I mean he runs better in Mission Impossible for some reason.
Right.
I don't know why.
They've got a better HGH budget on that one.
Yeah, well, at least in Top Gun, he doesn't have to run.
Right. He's just got to sit in his airplane. The sketch is totally not cooperating.
No, it's not.
All right. Time to wrap it up here, folks. So there's the sketches. Rodney's and I's sketches are still available. I think Killer Frost is still available.
Yeah, hold on a sec.
He's digging, folks. He's digging. But you can message our respective Facebook pages. Let us know if you're interested in picking one of them up, giving them their nice new forever home. There it is, Killer Frost. There you go.
Killer Frost is still available.
We should isolate that and just play that audio.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, we
on a loop.
Exactly.
We need some cool little buzzer things that we can press to do like the DJ noises in the background for us.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us babble about stuff this evening. And yes, we need more of that. That is perfect. Join us next weekend. Next weekend. What's going on next weekend?
Doing the cereal.
Do you mean next week? Thursday is not a weekend. All right, yeah, just join us next Thursday and Friday. Thursday we're drawing the cereal monsters, and Friday we are drawing. It was Wolfman and Frankenstein, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So join us for that.
And the poll for the cereal monsters.
Yes, go on over, vote. Hopefully somebody's gonna share that link. Okay, that's already up. All right, cool. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks, Josh, for coming in and joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And then be sure to go over and hit the notify on launch button on our Kickstarter for Scarlet's Field Guide to Cryptids and Other Creatures, which is launching Tuesday at approximately 7 p.m. Eastern. We will get that all verified over the weekend. Rodney, are you going to be sketching over the weekend?
Yes, 11 a.m. tomorrow and Sunday. Yes, absolutely.
Cool. All right, there it is, folks. Thanks so much. We will hopefully Rodney will see you over the weekend. I'll be back Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, drawing some cryptids. And you can join Josh when he's streaming on is it Wednesdays?
Yeah, it's on Wednesdays, but I'm doing it on the private group. I haven't gotten back into doing it on my regular page, but I gotta get going on that. I'll probably knock out a few more cryptids before getting back into that side of things. Yeah, because I don't want to necessarily do that out, quote unquote, in public. So yeah, we'll get something going on the Art of Jalen Warner page.
Right. So there you go. Go follow the Art of Jalen Warner, and he can keep you up to date with everything he's got going. And I think that covers it all. So everybody have a good night and good rest of the weekend.
Peace out.
Peace.